Welcome to In Tune. I'm your co-host, Matt Rector, an aspiring luthier from Baltimore, Maryland.
And I'm your other co-host, Ethan Morset, a music producer and founder of Blue Haven Music based in Minnesota.
Our goal is to provide value to enterprising musicians, artists, and craftspeople by sharing our conversations and the lessons we've learned along the way.
If you like our content, help us out by following us and giving us a positive rating on whatever platform you listen to podcasts. Tune in for new episodes on the first and third Wednesday of each month. This is episode 35. That is right. 35 whole episodes brought to you by the highest quality podcast producers in the world. Anyway, today Matt and I are just going to be catching up. We're both very busy and we have lives of our own and we haven't talked to each other in a while. So we're just going to catch up today. Matt's hair has grown another half of an inch since the last episode, so that is one update. But yeah, we're just gonna wing it and see how this goes. So, Matt, do you want to start? What's been going on in your life?
I mean, honestly, there's not a ton new right now. Things are kind of same old, same old. I think since we last talked, I'd moved to this new space and we've been unpacking, rearranging things, and my new home workshop space is coming along. It's mostly there, so I'm pretty excited about that, and I'm ready to get to work. I guess one thing that's kind of exciting, speaking of being the best podcast producers out there, is I got some new podcasting gear.
Oh,
I had some Amazon gift cards, and because I just basically had some free spending money, I decided to go ahead and update some of my audio equipment for podcasting. So before I just had a Samsung Q2U, I think is the name of the microphone. It's a popular dynamic microphone for
throwing in the trash.
I mean, well, it's inexpensive. I mean, it's like $60 and you get like a stand,
I'm just kidding.
a windscreen, the microphone. It's good for what it is.
It's a popular mic for throwing in the garbage.
Wow.
Hey, really quick.
Hey, we can't all be like Ethan with all of his fancy,
$1 million.
Look at all that. Look at all that
I'm a
equipment
millionaire
in the background. Look at all that equipment in his video. Like, look at all that gear. I mean,
I got so expensive. I got so much stuff. I got money.
You got a fancy pants over here.
Oh my goodness. Oh, nice water.
Thanks.
Are you able to
Puppet history?
Ooh, I don't know what that is. Can you adjust your phone so I can see your more than your lower half of your face?
I prefer that you only see the lower
I
half.
literally cannot see your eyes. I literally can see everything up to your nose, and that is it. There we go.
All right. Is that better?
All right. Yes. Now I can see your face.
Some of this stuff will be resolved. I think next time we're going to be trying to use a different podcast recording software. And when I do that, I'll be using my... I got some new headphones as well. So I'll be using those, and then I won't have this anymore, and we won't be dealing with using the phone and all that. So this should be a better setup overall, but for today, I'm just trying out my new microphone and my new audio interface. I got a Rode Pod mic, upgraded to that. And
I have some Rode mics.
Also, yeah, and they're pretty good quality, right? Made in Australia. And then I got a Focusrite Vocaster 2, which is an audio interface that is geared towards like podcasters specifically, or people doing spoken audio. It's not really meant for like recording, musical instruments or that sort of thing.
Gotcha. Are you saying that our podcast is not a musical production with our voices and I don't know, our voices?
I mean, would you say it is? I would not say so.
I would say all sound is a song in a way.
Wow, that's deep, man. Okay,
Anyway.
August Rush.
Anyway, that's just my humble opinion as a musician that writes music is that life is a song. All sound is a song.
We got August Rush over here, guys.
And life is also a painting. All visuals are a painting. It's life is art. And that's what I know. Anyway, sorry, continue. You got new podcasting gear, you got a podcasting mic, you got a podcasting audio interface, which the mic is plugged into. You are upgrading, moving up in the world.
Yeah, I mean, you don't necessarily have to get gear specifically targeted towards podcasting, but realistically, I'm not doing much recording music these days, so that made the most sense for me and what my needs are. I just don't need some of the more musician-friendly features at this point in time, and so having something tailored towards podcasting made sense for me. What about you? I mean, what gear do you use to record our podcast?
I use my laptop mic and my laptop webcam, and then I pay
You don't use your laptop
somebody,
mic.
and then I pay somebody. Yeah, this is just for looks. No. I've had a lot of apple juice tonight. So I'm just feeling really high on apple juice. So sorry about that. uh Anyway, actually this is water. Really, really dirty water. Um
Disgusting.
Anyway, I have, speaking of gear, I have gear that is far more advanced than I need. But you know, why not have the best? I have a universal audio interface. It's like an Apollo X8.
Mhm.
It's like a rack mounted audio interface. So I have a rack over here that the audio interface is actually in. Way more than like a small musician probably needs, but I wanted to have something that I could expand to. Everything that I've seen is universal audio is like, people don't have bad things to say about their audio interfaces.
Mhm.
They're really good. This is a Shure SM7B, super common podcasting and musician mic. Really nice. Good mid tier mic. I think that's like all the. I mean, you talked about a mic and a podcast, in an audio interface. That's what I have, and that's what I use.
It's interesting you call that a mid-tier mic because to me that's kind of high end. I mean, I think that in terms of dynamic mics, that's pretty high end. I
It's
mean,
like $400
not
to $500. I mean, you could get way more expensive than that.
for dynamic mics.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I haven't really done a lot of shopping out there, but I mean, you definitely for like if you were to compare to condensers and like definitely ribbon mics, I think like good quality ribbon mics are actually pretty expensive. But yeah, I'm sure you
I
could
know
find
condensers
much
and
more
ribbons
expensive.
yeah, I know those get really expensive, but for my purposes, dynamic mics are generally the best option based on my environment,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I'm using. I thought about picking up the SM7B, but it was more money than I really wanted to spend for a microphone, and I've been thinking about picking up a second pod mic because we are planning on having some more guests on the show in the future.
Hmm.
and I want to be able to do some in-person interviewing. So I aesthetically, like, I want things to kind of match, like if I have another person, I want their mic to look the same in their shot as it looks in mine.
Sure.
That might be a little bit silly, but like I don't want to buy like two $400 microphones, like that's too much money to, to spend on this at this point.
Hmm. Right, right. No, that makes
It
sense.
makes sense for you,
Well, I
because you're
mean, we'll
doing music
expand over
production.
time. Yeah, yeah. I mean, this has been a great investment and huge upgrade in like sound quality, but honestly, like I know not everybody has 400, $500 to drop on a microphone, but this is ideally something that I have for the rest of my or a huge chunk of my career. Um I see like YouTubers everywhere using this microphone, like musician YouTubers. It's a good workhorse mic. I have a condenser over here that's really nice that I don't use nearly as much just because I don't know, I only use that for really like delicate stuff, like stuff that needs a lot of subtlety, right?
Hmm.
Um, I guess podcasting doesn't need that same level of subtlety. I don't know, but I really like this mic a lot. Anyway, we're getting
Yeah,
sponsored by Shure. Not really. We're not, but maybe someday. Maybe someday we could get sponsored by them.
cool. Or by Rode, or by Focusrite, or Universal Audio, or whatever your audio interface is.
Yeah, yeah. Or by Alesis because I have an Alesis drum set in the background, or Native Instruments because I have a Native Instruments keyboard over there. So who knows? We could be big someday. We could be bigger than what is it, Joe Rogan? Doesn't he have like the
Um,
largest podcast?
does he? Hmm.
He has a lot of
I guess
followers.
I'd believe it.
Okay,
Um,
fine, somebody else. But anyway,
we, I think we could do an episode.
about Joe Rogan.
No, no, about our podcasting setup and maybe like what you need to get started and what we've used to get started. Um, because you can get started with I mean, you
You
can
could
get started
start with
with
a phone.
your cell phone. Yeah. But I think most people probably want quality that's a little bit better than that. And for not a whole lot of money, you can get a pretty decent setup. And if you can learn to do some basic EQ, um, you can get set up for
Not
decent
much.
USB. Yeah, I mean, decent USB mic like the one that I had. Um, free software like I'm using OBS or OBS Studio. I think that's what it's called.
Yep.
Um, all in that setup is like less than $100. So
Right.
you really don't need a lot.
No, you do not. We want people to think that it's really hard to start a podcast, so we have less competition, but that ship has sailed long, long ago. There's like a bajillion podcasts out there now. Um, but yeah, mine is well above what I need for a podcast, but that's because I'm trying to do music stuff. So, um, it just happens to overlap well with podcasting. But yeah, so you got new gear. You've been setting up your workshop. How close are you to getting done with the workshop setup? Do you think? Like for
I
now?
mean, honestly, I'm pretty much ready to start doing some projects in here now. So I'm pretty much done. I mean, there's going to be some things that I'll make adjustments to as I go. But other than that, I've got my tool storage solutions all sort of sorted out, and I'm sure that I'll rearrange some things as I work. That just tends to be how things go. You find that you like this here, you like that there. One really exciting thing for me that I have, I forgot that I was going to mention earlier. I I don't know if I talked about this last time, but I'm interested in enrolling in a program for a Lutherie program that's online. And I'm not going to lie, I was pretty skeptical about any sort of online program with that, just because I think Lutherie is something that you generally have to learn, in person.
Yeah. Such
Um,
a physical craft.
yeah, so I'm definitely skeptical of that. But I actually went on another podcast called Guitar Garage Talk a little while ago, and there's a guy, Patrick Sanders. He's the host of that podcast, and he went through that online program. And but
Here, I'm gonna text you a couple times too.
please don't.
You don't want me to text you? I thought we were friends, but
Okay.
okay.
All right. So he went through that program. Um and there's some other things that I sort of like about it. And I may still do like an in-person Lutherie program in the future. I could definitely talk about the program and what I'm interested in more in depth. But I guess the exciting news is there's a tool list that students are required to have.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a good chunk of them already just because I've invested in good quality tools. But I've been pretty good about saving towards some of my goals. And recently I went ahead and took advantage of a sale from a luthier supplier and purchased pretty much the rest of the toolkit that they require for their coursework.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I have enough money saved to go ahead and just enroll and pay the tuition in full, but I'm kind of waiting until things get a little bit less hectic with me. So
You have more time to devote to the course.
yeah, exactly. But I'm in a pretty good spot. It's the tools have not come in the mail yet. I literally just ordered them yesterday, so I'm excited to get those in and start using them and see where it goes.
You said you're waiting for like life to be less hectic. When do you think that'll be for you? Like
Oh well,
I'm putting the pressure
isn't
on you.
that
I'm your accountability partner here.
honestly? I'm thinking I'm gonna enroll early 2025 because I do want to work on a few projects in this workspace and make sure that I have this sort of shop space set up the way I want it for a good workflow before I am trying to like do classes in here. Um, and then from there, so I figure I'll give it to the end of the year. Plus, that gives me a little bit more time to just continue to save up a little bit more money, give myself a little bit more of a buffer so that I can just go ahead and pay that tuition cost in full, still have, money and savings, that sort of thing.
Yep.
Um, and then get through the holiday season. I work for a jewelry company. I know we've talked about that on the show a few times. And, holiday season, Christmas
For all
gifts,
sales
things like that.
places, yeah.
Yeah, it gets anyone who, works in some sort of job kind of like that or retail or anything like that. It gets really hectic. So my thought was I'll give it through the rest of the year and then kind of start fresh in the new year.
Sure. Sounds good.
But I've been talking a lot about myself, so I got some new gear, new tools. Kind of gearing up to do some Lutherie classes. What about you, Ethan? What's going on with you, man?
Um, well, I've been kind of focusing on a few things. Some of this is not new, so this will sound like a repeat, but saving up money to quit. Um, Surprise, boss, if you happen to listen to this, which I'm sure you don't. Uh, but saving up to quit. So I'm already kind of at my threshold, but kind of like Matt's saying, um, building up more of a buffer. Uh, some of that might sound like procrastinating, like of quitting, but like part of when I've saved up X amount of dollars for basically, we're gonna call this a year's worth of income for me. Um, I kind of destroyed my emergency fund and my car fund, which I have like a savings account for saving up for my next vehicle. Um, because I'm crazy, and um, and I kind of cannibalized those things to save up for this other thing. So I'm trying to replenish those. I could quit right now, and probably be fine for a year, but part of it is like, am I ready to lose that social outlet? And I'm not making money yet. You and I have talked about this. I have made money from the music, but I'm not making a constant like revenue stream.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm kind of biding my time a little bit there and building up some more cushion. Um, So hoping, I don't have a specific date, but we get our bonus in March, so maybe March 2025. uh Anyways, so that's happening. Uh and then on top of that, I'm trying to build my social media up, kind of also in preparation for quitting, because I want to have a platform to post on, and make sure people know that I exist. Um, so I've been really focusing on growing the Instagram. That's what I'm focusing on, is Instagram right now. Uh, I'm just about at 300 followers. Not too long ago, I was only at 100, so I've grown fairly quickly. Um, right now, I've been focusing on, as you probably know, like little short music videos, like music reels. I don't know. I'm just trying stuff out. Like honestly, I'm a social media noob. Um and so I'm trying to like uh experiment and figure out what works, and I know the thing right now is visual content, not just pictures but video, so trying to figure out how to combine, kind of marry music, like my songs, with some kind of video content. Music videos are kind of the thing right now, that I'm focusing on. Maybe I'll expand into something in the future that I think is even more, I don't know, watchable, I guess. Um, but I've been making video content for that, and just trying to grow the Instagram. Been boosting my reels because I've got the money to do it. Might as well kind of expedite the process. Um, So that's been a focus, is just trying to ramp that up as quick as possible.
Hmm.
Um, then the other focus has been, I think I've talked to about this on the podcast, maybe not, but I've definitely talked to you about it. Taxi is like an online music licensing company, um, where they're kind of like a middle person between companies that are looking for music for commercials, music libraries, you know, of various different things, like companies, not just people, and songwriters. And you can pay an annual subscription to be able to submit to their briefs, which is something like $100 or $200 a year, which comes with a lot of other perks. and then you can submit to these what they call briefs, where they describe um, what they're looking for. Like a company comes to Taxi and says, "Hey, I want this, this, and this." Like a hip hop song with a lot of energy.
Hmm.
That sounds like this song, and this song. And then they describe that, and then you can look at the brief with all those requirements and the reference tracks that they add, and then you can try to write a song or find a song in your catalog that fits that and then submit it. And so my goal lately has been that, because I have a music licensing mentor that kind of pushed me towards Taxi as one of the good opportunities. And so far I've submitted probably like 6 songs. Like my focus is not to really release a lot of music like as an independent artist, but as more of like trying to generate songs for Taxi. So that, because the idea is the more stuff I submit on there, if it gets Taxi gets to choose whether they forward that song to the end customer or not. So they actually have screeners that look at the music that you submit, and they're like, yes, I think the customer will like this or not. Right? They have screeners that literally look at your music. Um, and they, anyway, I've been trying to just like submit as much music to this as possible, because if I get music in the hands of the customer, the more songs I get in the hands of the customer, the more possible revenue streams I will create, right? Is the idea. So that's been kind of my focus. I've submitted 6 songs. I'm at about a 50-50 success ratio right now. So I've had 3 songs forwarded, 3 songs rejected. I don't know if that's good or not, but it's nice to have some songs like actually forwarded. So like somebody is literally saying, yes, I think this will fit the customer's needs. Um,
I mean, I think like in anything, like if you're an author or something and you are submitting something for editing, like rejection rate is pretty high. So I honestly, I feel like 50% is actually like it's pretty good.
yeah. One of the songs I mean, some of it too, there's only been one song I've submitted that got rejected that I was like kind of like upset about, because like I liked it a lot and they didn't. Uh and that's part of it, but the other 2 songs that were rejected I was like not nearly as attached to. So it wasn't as big of a deal. Um but yeah, I mean it's a lesson in, a little bit of it is it hurts a little bit, but um it's a lesson in, you have to get those rejections. You're going to, as a musician, like, yeah, it sucks that they don't like it as much as you did, but I mean, I don't know that there are many musicians out there that are getting 100% of their songs forwarded on to the end customer, and even so, even do they get accepted by the customer, you know? So
Mhm.
um it's been a lesson in, how do you not let rejection make you give up, you know? Not that I was ever going to, but actually having that rejection and like being like, okay, don't let this get you down. Like, just move forward, learn what you can from it. And the great thing about Taxi is they give you feedback on why they didn't forward it, right? So I actually get feedback as to what was wrong with my song, you
Okay,
know?
that's cool.
So that's actually one of the perks of the service, is they don't just reject it and don't tell you about it. They tell you that they rejected it and they tell you why. Um, which is very valuable feedback as a musician to figure out how you can improve and increase your chances of getting more things accepted. So, um, it's been a positive experience. And I've had songs forwarded on, so that's encouragement and reinforcement that there's at least something I'm doing right, right? Uh so that's nice. But that's my current focuses right now. the Instagram, saving up to quit, and then just trying to get as much stuff forwarded through Taxi. Obviously, alongside trying to grow as a songwriter and as a mixer. So, um, always wish I could be doing more than I'm doing right now, but I think anyone who's working a full-time job and working on a side hustle at the same time understands that time's pretty limited, and you just got to do what you can with the time that you have and focus on progress, not focus on um, trying, not focusing necessarily on how much progress you're making, but making a step in the right direction every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, small, consistent steps.
Otherwise, it's easy to get overwhelmed.
For sure. Yeah. I'm trying to get better at some of this audio stuff just because I might start doing more YouTube videos, things like that. And where I would probably like be doing some voiceover. The way that my shop space is set up is it'd be hard for me to record and speak at the same time while like showcasing what I'm doing. And truthfully, when I'm, when you're doing like work on musical instruments, stringed instruments, like generally it's well, not always, but like setup work, that sort of thing, like it's very precise. We're talking about like, you're making adjustments within 64th of an inch, or less.
Mm-hmm.
Thousandths of an inch. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the way that we measure some of our, uh, the way that we take some of our measurements for making adjustments on instruments are literally within the thousandths of an inch. And so, truthfully, I don't think I'm just not that good at multitasking. I would have a hard time talking at the same time as I'm doing something.
Yeah, I get that.
Um, so I think for me, I will probably just record some video and shots of me working on stuff, and then I'll probably end up doing some voiceover later. So that's also part of the reason why I've sort of, kind of like what you said. Sometimes it's worth it to invest in better quality audio equipment to sort of future proof yourself. I don't really need stuff like you do, but for spoken voice, I did want to up my game a little bit with my setup. And so I was willing to spend a little bit of money towards doing that. So I'm kind of trying to figure out how to get better at utilizing that stuff and EQ and all that. So
Yeah,
I'm excited to kind of use some of this new gear.
yeah. No, that's cool.
There's a dog hair on my microphone. I have a Siberian Husky, so, comes with the territory.
um, yeah, I would like to grow my YouTube channel more. Like, I don't have much at all, and I haven't posted that much. And it's something that, as a freelancer, it is it's a good avenue for getting people to know about your business and be interested in your business and actually want to invest in it because, I think the idea is you offer something for free on YouTube, like educational content or entertainment or whatever, in exchange for people noticing that
Hmm.
you exist, you know? Um, and I would like to grow mine as well. So maybe over the next few months we can try to do something with that where we can kind of set goals or hold each other accountable or just support each other in trying to grow that. Just even by checking in or like actually watching the videos and providing some kind of feedback or something. Because I would like to do that as well. Even though we're not in the same realm, I still have wanted to do that and I really haven't gotten into like full length videos or anything like that. The only thing I've put on YouTube pretty much is like reels, shorts, I think they call them on YouTube. But I would like to do more like full scale, like here's how I made this song, or here's what I'm learning about, or here's just something goofy, or, I would like to do a lot more of that. So maybe we can try to work together to push each other in that area.
Hmm. Have you done much with recording video?
I'm recording video right now.
I mean, but have you done much with
uh,
recording and video production, like recording video and video production?
the most I've done is video editing. As far as like actually recording, not a lot. I have a decent like recording mic or recording. It's a camera. It's like a Panasonic Lumix GH5 or something like that. Um, I've mainly taken pictures with it. I haven't done a lot of video with it. But again, that's an area I kind of want to learn more about. So like whether it's like finding a YouTube video that kind of like talks about it that we can share with each other, or maybe there's some kind of short class on YouTube that we can go through together that kind of like talks through that. Um, but no, it's an area that has been on my to-do list to get better at and learn more about and start practicing, that just keeps falling on the back burner right now.
So the thing I'm struggling with in my space is the fact that my shop space is pretty small. Even like with recording this podcast, um, I would really prefer to have a different angle where it's sort of overlooking the workbench. But for me to have like a table in here where I can have like a laptop and microphone and my audio interface and things like that, which I don't want. Like, I guess that's one of the downs. Like, you can have like you've got a boom arm, things like that, and that makes sense in a studio where you can just move the boom arm to the side. Your computer that you produce music on can just live there. But for
Mm-hmm.
me in a woodworking shop, like I can't have that set up all the time. It would just get in the way and it'd get dusty and it would hurt the equipment. And like, so for me, anytime I want to record the podcast, I have to set up my podcasting equipment up. And then when we're done, I have to take it down. So I did actually get a little like a card table kind of thing recently that I can like fold and put away when I'm um not doing this, and then put up when I am doing this.
Mm-hmm.
But even that in this small space, it's hard for me to position things in a way where I like get the angle that I want, because I really want like to feature the workbenches and stuff in this room. Um, so that's something I'm struggling with, and who would be a good resource?
What's that?
Is our number one fan, Chris.
Tim Hansen.
No, Chris is a longtime supporter and listener of Intune, and
Shout out to Chris.
he
Again.
also takes some amazing. He does some amazing photography um, with cars. He's a big car guy. He takes a lot of photos of cars. So I'll have to ask him sometime.
If
Maybe we can link to his Instagram. But he would probably have some good advice about that.
hey, here's an idea. If he's not shy to be on the podcast, we could have him on the podcast and he could talk to us about video production.
Yeah.
And we could have a podcast episode on video production.
He'd be a good one to invite on. I've had some other ideas. I went on a podcast recently for the Baltimore Node, the makerspace that I'm a part of.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we were interviewed for a podcast called Baltimore Communities, I think, which it'll be a little while before it's out. They're building sort of a backlog of episodes before they start releasing. So I don't know the release date of that yet, but I was on that.
Cool.
Yeah.
One thing, I don't know if this is will help, but this is kind of a nifty little tool for recording with your phone. It's got like a little thing that like will retract to the size of your phone, and then you can, of course, angle it how you want. And then you can also, like, there's a button right here. You can press it and angle this the way that you want. And then you can hold it like it has like a handle like this. So like if you're like recording, obviously as a luthier, you probably won't always have one hand available. But you have that option, but it also is a stand. And so you can like, set it up in different configurations so that you can just like set it on the table at a specific angle. The disadvantage is this doesn't have the height. Like if you're trying to do over, but it is a nifty little tool to have for like different situations. Honestly, for height, I know you're limited on space, but like trying to figure out like some kind of boom mic or boom arm situation where you have like a tripod that has a boom that can be configured whichever way that you need it, and then just use your phone for now. Honestly, I think that would be enough for YouTube videos. I don't think you need like a $2,000 camera right now.
No, I'm not. I'm not concerned about that. I just am more concerned about getting a good shot and angle. I don't think I need to have super fancy equipment for it. It's just within the limited space that I have, trying to position myself or position my like phone or equipment to get the shot that I want is sometimes a challenge.
Yeah. I mean, you could also, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of ideas. Could you put floating shelves in your room to like give you more options for like different angles? Or could you mount something to the wall? Or could you, I know you're in an apartment. There might be, I don't know, might be more options. Maybe talk to the podcaster, that Guitar Garage Talk guy. Ask if they do videos, ask them what they do and explain your situation to them. See if they have any specific luthier oriented like tips,
Yeah.
Honestly, for like camera quality, I think you could get started with video through your phone, and rely on maybe audio from your like podcast mic. I've heard it many times that people are a lot more forgiving with video quality than they are with audio quality. Like if the video quality is not great, but the audio quality is good, then people seem to be less judgmental of that. But if you have great video and your audio quality is absolute crap, people are more likely to just like click away from the video. That's what I've heard. So I don't know. I don't know what it's like to be a luthier, so I don't know what's going to work for you and what will not work for you, but there's probably something out there that you can figure out to work with. Whether it's something that's as low profile as this, or a wall mounted type of solution, or something else. Honestly, to start, you could probably get by with something pretty small. It does, I don't know. I don't know what ideas you have for videos, but I don't think it has to be big and complicated, I think you can start with not much. But that's my 2 cents as an inexperienced YouTuber.
All right. Well, did we have any more updates or anything else we want to talk about or share?
I don't think so. I think we're at about a good time to wrap things up. So,
all right, guys, that is it for episode 35. Until next time, stay tuned.